We're going to test a polar equation for symmetry. We're going to check for symmetry around the pole with respect to the polar axis and with respect to the line theta equals pi over 2. We'll go ahead and start with checking for symmetry around the pole. To check for symmetry around the pole, we're going to replace r with negative r and see if we get the same equation back. So here we'll get negative r is equal to 5 sine theta cosine squared theta. And we multiply both sides by the negative. We get negative 5 sine theta cosine squared theta. And this is not the same equation that we started with, so all we can say at this point is that there may or may not be symmetry with respect to the pole. So we'll say maybe. Next, we'll check for symmetry with respect to the polar axis. To check for symmetry with respect to the polar axis, we're going to replace theta by negative theta and see if we get the same result. Here we'll have r is equal to 5 sine of negative theta times the cosine squared of negative theta. If we clean that up, we get r is equal to negative 5 sine theta times cosine squared of theta. Remember that sine of negative theta is equal to negative sine theta. The cosine of negative theta is equal to cosine theta, but we're squaring that, so we have cosine squared. This is not the same equation that we started with, so again, there may or may not be symmetry with respect to the polar axis. We'll say maybe again. Lastly, we're going to check for symmetry around the line theta equals pi over 2. To do that, we're going to replace theta by pi minus theta and see if we get the same equation back. Here we'll have r is equal to 5 times the sine of pi minus theta times cosine squared of pi minus theta. This will give us r is equal to 5 times the sine of theta times negative cosine of theta, and we're going to have that quantity squared because cosine of pi minus theta is negative cosine theta. It gives us 5 sine theta times cosine squared theta. This is the same equation that we started with, so we know that there is symmetry with respect to the line theta equals pi over 2. We still only can say that it might be symmetric around these other two.